Pull up, pull up, pull up. My bad, y'all. Y'all done caught me at lunchtime. Y'all done caught me at lunchtime, fam. Y'all done caught me at lunchtime, man. What up, though? How y'all feeling? My side, I got fries, onion rings, and hush puppy. I got some fries, onion rings, and hush puppy. What up, though? Y'all gonna pull up, man. Let's see how many we got. 50? Nah, I can't remember 50. Been here 5 minutes. Y'all on the like button? Hey, y'all shared it? Hold on, let me go share something big. Let me go share it. So what up, though?
I just that five you. I do that 3 more times again. I just the 5 you. I'm so that like you, that bitch I do it. All I will cry is getting you. I'm not. Long as you joking now here for me. I ain't got it. I'm just getting into it. I your bodies. Long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got no you right now. But the truth, I look better under you. I get lost when I'm with you. How can us lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody like you do. I can't lose with you. I can't just lose and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody like you do. You know. In the top top right with you, I feel like Scarface. The party bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. The stage is argument back up to my place. Sex argue, I'm not violent on you, day one. We had you, yeah. It was magic, yeah. Smash and grab shit, yeah. Nasty habits take a hold when you're not here. Ain't a home when you're not here. I'll be home when you're not here. I'm saying, I can't lose without you. How can I lose and miss the moment? You just too avoid. Nobody like you do. I can't lose without with you. How can I lose and miss the moment? You just too avoid. Nobody like you do.
Go. What up, though?
I can't lose without you. How can I lose and miss the moment?
out any
You
nigga.
just do a boy, nobody who body like you do. I keep you.
Hold on, Caesar. Now I do want to watch you scissor one of these hoes, but I ain't feeling these nigga energy today, Scissor. I do want to watch you scissor one of these hoes, but I ain't feeling their energy today. You know, like these niggas can give a damn if I came on or not today. Shit, I could have took a break today. That's what it feel like you're telling me. No, man. I ain't nigga been coming out here. I ain't been feeling appreciated, undervalued. Nigga been feeling real undervalued around this bitch. Mm-hmm. Said ain't so. I don't know, man. Yeah, man. I don't know, fam. I mean, we was in this. How long we was in here yesterday, man? About 6, 7 hours, bro. We probably had 3 people support the damn channel. Nigga, what the fuck I look like? What I look like? Some hoe ass nigga or something? Nigga, it ain't all good, nigga. What it supposed to be all good or something here, nigga? I sitting there, nigga, my live on for 6, 7 hours, nigga, only 3 niggas supported, nigga. That mean everybody else said fuck me coming this hoe today, nigga. The energy low, the vibration low, nigga ain't shared my shit. My life's looking crazy. Nigga, please. Man, I can be somewhere making somebody day, nigga. Got me fucked all the way up. Man, got me fucked all the way up. Ain't no way in hell, nigga. Nigga finna keep handling me in this hoe. Every time I come in this hoe, nigga, last month, nigga, we was at an all-time low on motherfucking support on the show. Nigga, we done had an event all-time low on production, motherfuckers, even participation, I mean. You feel me? I don't know what niggas got going on in their life, but I'm not one of these other content creators you niggas frequenting. I'm not here to do no circus shit just to entertain you, nigga. Hell nah, nigga, that motherfucking energy gonna be mutual, nigga, or it ain't gonna be nothing. Yeah, nigga, cause I can go back into hibernation, nigga, but one thing, nigga, ain't finna come around at home and be handling me, nigga. You handled the shit out of me, the nigga, all last month. Yeah, I got goddamn nigga, I gotta say something. I don't cause goddamn nigga arguing with nigga yesterday to hit the like button. Nigga, we got 3 motherfuckers to support out of 7 hours, nigga. That tell you nigga can give a fuck about you. Nah, for real. Y'all nigga, wake it up. Wake it up, nigga. Or I'm gonna send y'all back out there to them other YouTubers. That's how I'm just gonna send you niggas out there. Obviously, y'all liking the low vibrational shit. You know, nigga got me fucked up though, nigga. We gonna have to see something. I'm like Coach Prime, nigga. We gonna have to see something. We gonna have to see something around this motherfucker. There's some things gonna have to change. Cause niggas just showing up and ain't putting out no production. You niggas already running the Illuminati's around this whole secret groups and shit all in BCU and all that type of shit, nigga. We not doing this, bro. I'll meet me over here ass shit. And y'all, we meeting up in the background. Goddamn, nigga, what a support it. What a support it. Nigga, we gonna run Illuminati groups around this motherfucker. Nigga work too hard to get here. Real motherfucking talk. Just cause a nigga ain't said shit don't mean a nigga ain't on top of his motherfucking game, nigga. That's what we ain't finna do. Real motherfucker.
But salute to Maple Shade. Sound like it's rich over there. Copper Aura. Sounds like it's some I like Maple Shade. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yes. We are deep in the building. Shout out to my New Yorkers. I don't want to put it out. Well, I'm gonna put it out there. The weekend of September the 21st and the 22nd, we will be at Nicholas in Brooklyn. The 21st and the 22nd at Nicholas. Please mark that on your calendar. Me and Blue Pill will be back in Brooklyn, back in New York at Nicholas. We are going to be making the initial announcement this week, and we'll be getting ready to really start beating the drums for that probably on Thursday. But me and Blue will be back in Brooklyn, BK, New York, in the month of September. So please spread the word, let the family know, and look out for that. That's gonna be big. You know what I'm saying? They've been asking for us in New York, so we will be there. And I believe it's gonna be a workshop. This is going to be a workshop that me and Blue will be doing. So yeah, applicable information, things that you could do right now. You know what I'm saying? With the tools being provided. So yeah. We look forward to that. Okay. Pittsburgh in the building. Shout out to Pittsburgh. You dig? Shout out to Pittsburgh. Shout out to Charlotte. Salute to Charlotte. Okay, you say you're from Camden and it's 10 minutes away. Okay. Camden. Maple Shade sound like it's a, you know what I'm saying? Sound kind of important out there. Shreveport, aka Janet. And I haven't, and I just feel like he'll give you straight game moguls, right? Business minded rap moguls, not lyrics, not best album, just business mind. I think 50 Cent might be the sharpest of his generation. Honorable mentions, of course, Master P, Baby, Jay-Z, Nas. These are all moguls in their own right. But I feel like 50 Cent, if I would, you know how they say $500,000 or a dinner with Jay-Z, I would sit down with 50 Cent way before Jay-Z. He gives up more game. He's not that effeminate. And I haven't, and I just feel like he'll give you straight game rather than the type of talk that a Jay-Z would give you, if you understand what I'm saying. The Jay-Z game, he's not going to go straight to direct. I don't think Jay-Z is here to empower people and to really tell you how to be a boss. He's going to give you Bed-Stuy rhetoric. Like, I don't know if y'all not from Bed-Stuy, so y'all understand what that may be. He's going to give you some cloth talk, but it's going to be a lot of codes. It's not going to empower you. 50 is giving up the game. Because if he talks like that on camera, he's going to give you the fucking game off camera. In my humble opinion, if you was around 50 Cent and you fell, it's because you didn't listen to what he was telling you. He's going to steer you in a direction where you can win. Okay? He's not going to steer you in a direction to make you lose. He's going to steer you in a direction where you could win. So, in my humble opinion, he's the sharpest of the moguls. It is not easy to conquer media. He conquered media. Would you rather conquer media or apparel? Because Kanye West conquered apparel, and that's kudos to him. That's why he gets an honorable mention. He conquered apparel, but 50 Cent went in and conquered the media. He said, forget about having a film. put out a series because you need a star to sell a film. You could start a series and create stars. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, this is some shit that his is keep it simple. It's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. But he's giving you bars. He's giving you bars. Put out the series. He's created stars out of these series. Nobody was checking for Little Meech, nigga. Nobody cared about Da Vinci. Nobody was caring about none of these people. Even Omari Hardwick, who was the ghost. Niggas wasn't really checking for him like that. So series, when there's a Netflix, that's why the Netflix streaming business model is, kind of like it disrupted Hollywood because you get to build out your characters through a series. Nobody cared about Tommy. You know what I'm talking about? He got that white boy lit. Nobody cared about Tommy. Nobody cared about Ghost Son, the little one. So yeah, he hates the god bodies. He hates the god bodies. And I wonder, I don't, I wonder if him and 19 Keys even met during that whole Invest Fest type of thing. But yeah, he don't like god bodies. He don't like the whole god body mentality. And he had beef with some of the top god bodies in New York, so that's understandable. It's nothing personal. His shit is war. If he was a brand, it would be Walmart. He gives me very Walmart, off the rack type of, I'm like him and Master P. They give me that off the rack type of, that's like their style. You know what I'm saying? And that's all good. It's cool. It works for them. You know what I'm saying? It works for them. Um, he's not that flashy. He's not in one of these name brand chasing behind labels and shit like that, chasing name brands, trying to make gay designers more popular. He's not dealing with no shit like that. You feel me? And it's respectful. You know what I mean? I respect that part of him. Taliek, I saw you in the back office, pull back up, please. I'm gonna bring you on stage. You feel me? But respect to the God, man. Respect to him, man. Man, we'll talk about that whole thing with 50 on another show. We'll bring it up. We'll break down why we feel the way that we feel. Like I say, Nas gets an honorable mention, but Nas has never given our community the $1 million game on how to get into technology and angel investing. And he's big in that world, but he's not giving up the game. So I'm talking about a mogul who gives up the game. And you could look at them and be like, oh, this nigga is eating right now. So he's giving us good advice. Let me start running my mouth. Let me bring on the stage my first guest for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in the Houston, Texas area, and you consider yourself to be a vegan or you follow the healthy lifestyle, more than likely you are familiar with Soul Food Vegan. You are familiar with my good brother Taliek, who is in the third ward with his business. But not only is he in the third ward with his business, he's been all around Houston for many, many years, as the face of consciousness. He's been spreading consciousness. He's been putting people on to KTL for as long as I've known him. This brother is an upstanding businessman in his community. He's a father and he's a friend. Okay. And he's been on this journey ever since me and his brother made acquaintance back in 2013. He's been on a journey to know thyself. And he's one of those students who takes the information and applies it. And if it's not applicable, you won't hear him talking about it or standing on it. And I'm very proud of him. And this latest journey that he's on, the brother has been breaking a lot of codes when it comes to genealogy, finding out who we really are, and also challenging some of the rhetoric and some of the narratives and some of the quote unquote stories that the teachers have put out over the years, the scholars and whatnot. And certain scholars and certain information has been debunked. and certain information has been verified. So I want to bring my good brother on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further ado, I want to open up the line for my good brother Taliek Heru. Peace to God.
Peace to the God, man. What it do? What it do, man? Hey, man, we saying super healthy, wealthy, man. Hey, I love you to life, Red. We've been doing this shit, KTL for life. We've been doing this shit since the blog talk days, man. I
You
appreciate.
already know.
Yeah, man. I got my brother Topcatz coming in. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
it's gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be amazing, man. So
indeed.
I can't wait. But he about to chime in right now.
Okay.
Let me hit him in the back chat right quick.
Okay.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
But now, man, I appreciate you, man. I love you to life, man.
I
And
love you to life too, man.
man,
I just want to give, huh?
what you and your brother been doing, man, for the community, man, is just, man, it's priceless. A lot of people don't know y'all body of work. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
So yeah, man.
That'll be in the documentary. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. Y'all, and it's only right that we bring in, bring in Topcatz in, man. You know, he's a good brother. He quotes his scholarship, and it's the last plateau of information, that needs to be put out there,
Well, we live in a very interesting time right now, especially in a region such as Texas, the Georgias, the Carolinas, the Floridas of the world. When we did roll call earlier, we were able to see how many people are tapped in from these areas, and it's a lot of people from those areas, from those sacred areas and whatnot. So as we have students waking up and they've getting past the feel goodisms about their history and who they are, brothers and sisters from these places, it seems like their DNA is kind of like drawing them to take it a step further and to really do the deep diving about their history. So they're doing a lot of honoring of their last name, of their ancestors who are in their blood still and all, a part of their bloodline. They're being able to resurrect these stories, these names, and this buried history. So I gotta give salute to everybody who's on that quest and who is not intimidated nor afraid to stand on the truth, however they see it. You know? So for everybody that's on that time, big ups to y'all. Big ups to y'all. You feel me? It's not easy standing on business like this because keep in mind, you have to go against family members, you have to go against friends, you have to go against the programming that these Europeans put in your heads and whatnot that have you living in a quote unquote a world or a false reality. You feel me? A false reality. Because if the narrative is completely erroneous, then the reality is erroneous as well. On the show last night on Brother Rich's channel, the brother Sharif Bey, he was breaking down the information from some of these social engineers who exist out there. I forgot the name of the European, but the European was saying that the American Negro or the Negro, black, or colored citizens of America, they have a 150-year-old false history that they're all running on. So imagine if we were computer programs. These programs have malware. These programs have bugs in it. These are wrong. These are bad programs. So if the program is off, imagine how the people who are
Hey,
who the program is running. Imagine how they are going to be
shout out
thinking and
Need You,
carrying
shout out Book for
themselves.
the love
So
and the super
the
chat.
Europeans said, "Well, we gave them a false history about who they are. We gave them a false history about who they're not. We gave them a false history about where they came from. We gave them a false history about where they're going and whatnot." So when you hear something like that, and then when you sit back and you look around and you just become the observer and you like, yo, niggas is running around like chickens with their heads cut off. There's no direction. They're walking around with no purpose and whatnot. It begins to become more clearer as to why they don't have any purpose. It becomes clear as to why we don't have any direction. Imagine if somebody gave you a GPS reading and whatnot, and that shit sent you into the swamps. The map that they're giving us leads you to nowhere. Yeah, Charles said robots build robots. You feel me?
Hey, that was a good breakdown. We always talked about how these call it what it is, doctrines gave people that cookie map of life. Gave what that nigga say, who the hell drew this map? That nigga say what the hell Cookie was drinking when he drew this. He said, Cookie ain't make the damn map, nigga. I drew it. I knew your ass wouldn't come unless I had it. That's what these doctrines been doing to these niggas. Nigga done drew the map up and ain't, yeah, I knew you wouldn't come if I ain't have it.
The indoctrination of the autonomous people is crazy, you know? So the Dane Callaways of the world, the Horace Butlers of the world, the Topcatz of the world.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor. Get my likes up. You know what I'm saying? Match the likes with the views. I don't know why we ain't been getting the best out of y'all. I don't know what it's gonna take to goddamn get the best out of y'all. But shout out to the brother Red Pill. Taliek hit me last week, said, hey man, Red Pill wanna do a bill with you, man. And I was like, nigga, you lying, like you bullshitting. He like, nah, for real. Urban Engine, he hit me. Lord Jamal want to get you on the show. I'm like, yeah, you know. So I'm down to make it happen. I'm like, all right, bet. So it didn't happen last week, and Taliek hit me day before yesterday. Hey man, Red trying to get you on the show tomorrow, man. I said, oh, that nigga must ain't bullshitting. He must really want to be you. And you know, this new age of awakening we ushering in right now is real. You know what I'm saying? And goddamn Legendarytopcatz is, you know, one of the ones goddamn, you know, that's helped ushering in the new wave. Now there's other people paved the way before me, and I'm always gonna salute them. But this new era, that's the Topcat era.
Some jewels today, and we want to chat the ask the thought provoking questions too as well, because we're gonna shake you up. But you know the era we come from. We gotta quote your sources. We got good scholar. We're gonna quote our sources so you can further your own research. But this story that we telling you is not scripted. It's a story that we try and get you to tap into is with your bloodline, your ancestors, which is called genealogy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah. So, but when you tap into genealogy, you see how your family is connected in this play called America. You know what I'm saying? And that'll blow your mind. I'm just segueing in for my brother Topcatz. VCU. Like when I say he got some information to drop on you, it's gonna shake you up.
Indeed. And we also have some visuals for the family. The good brother Taliek sent me a cache of images, and I put together a nice little PowerPoint presentation. So we're gonna go through images because I know our people are visually, we learn from visual. We're visual learners, so we do have something put together. Some of these images may be the first time that some of you have seen it, and it may be the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth time that you've seen it. Regardless of the fact, these are images that we are gonna have to continuously show ourselves and show our children. I'm homeschooling my children right now, my 4-year-old. For all of my homeschoolers out there, and for all of my tutors out there, it's very important.
Hey, hold on. I want to shout out to everybody, the new that's coming in now. If y'all wasn't in, my bad. I was eating my lunch. Shout out to Buck, Needy, and Sugar Bear for supporting. We are at an all-time low on the support. I don't know what that's about. God damn it, nigga. How the hell I'm getting hotter and hotter in the streets, and the support is getting lower and lower? I don't know. God damn it. Niggas ain't wearing a Jaguar coat arms no more, nothing. Give it a year when we really popping, and niggas standing on stage in front of 10,000. Don't come out here with the Jaguar costumes on then, goddamn it. Now get the likes up, share the video out. I should be coming in. I think I was getting set up at this time. So I should be coming in. And we're gonna turn up. Rich Neil Bay say Topcatz and BCU making moves in the real Indian way.
That the babies don't have to unlearn the information. It's important to give it to them right now,
right on.
0 to 7, while they're soaking up all of this righteous information. You know, I'm talking about give them right knowledge from the gate, so they don't have to get tricked and whatnot, and then untricked. They don't have to go through cognitive dissonance. They don't have to go through this confusion that many of us have gone through. So the babies are the ones who are going to benefit the most off of the research that the parents are doing right now. You dig what I'm saying? Because when they get this information, they're going to grab this shit by the horns, and they're not letting up. Okay? Because
and it's going to be the only thing on the block. Like Taliek said, this the last line of, this the last piece to the puzzle this the last piece. All the other pieces on the board, and that shit ain't got us nowhere. This is the last piece, and this is the most important piece. And nigga, it's our time. So that's why I'm saying step up. How many people already started looking into their tickets for November to come to Houston? Not that many. Not that many. You know, and I don't know what it's gonna take to make people, you know, come on, bro. We gotta do better. You know what I'm saying? We must do better, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta do better in a lot of different, you know, ways, man. I don't give a fuck because we winning. Yeah, we winning, but we gotta do better. We gotta do more, man. We have to.
They're gonna have the resources. They're gonna have the wherewithal. They're gonna know what to do because the quote unquote steps that we've taken, they're gonna be able to study that and trace it. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to open up the line for my special guest for this evening, the legendary, the good brother, the legendary Topcatz is in the building. So let me go ahead and open up the line. All right. Here we go. Peace to the family.
Peace. What's up with it?
All right. Peace to the God. What's good with you, brother?
Oh, man, slow motion. Appreciate you having me on. Shout out to the homie Soul Food Vegan.
Yes.
Peace to the chat in a real way.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's been a long time coming, my brother.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me give you your 21 gun salutes, man.
Yeah.
Hold on.
To this day.
First and foremost, I want to say I've been giving brothers their flowers and whatnot. I want to say salute to you, my good brother Topcatz, for the work that you've been doing out here. You know what I mean? Standing on the front lines, you know, going against the grain and standing on the business of resurrecting the quote unquote dry bones of our ancestors and challenging the narrative, right, that they've been putting out here to put our people completely to sleep. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to say salute to you for doing that.
No, I appreciate you. Appreciate you in a real way. You know, been following your work, you and your brother. Shout out to KT too. You know, I got a picture, as a matter of fact, at Soul Food Vegan. Yeah.
Oh, with KT the arts degree?
Yeah.
Dope.
I was putting him on cowboy beans. He was like, man, what's cowboy beans? Yeah.
Nah, salute to him. There's a show on with him and Rich right now. So I gotta go check that when it's over and everything. Real briefly, let the family know, let my audience know exactly who the legendary Big Chief Topcatz is, what you've been doing, where you know, what region you coming out of and whatnot, and just keep them up. Let them know who you are.
Oh man, you can choose lose, you can stay confused, man. I'm a Texas Indian, East Texas to be exact. I'm a core-sided Indian on my dad's side and Cherokee lineage on my mom's side. I come from a family of chiefs from the Kasadi, the Mingos, and we still have our land down there. My family, we fought in the Revolutionary War as far as Texas Revolution. And so that's when a lot of my lines started to come together. There, one leaving out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama in 1836, coming to Texas. And we had 3 plantations in Texas since 1836. So we got historical markers on them as far as our cemetery. And me, I'm a American Indian history, world history, but my main focus is right here on the America.
Yes.
Telling the stories, that was left out, what they call the mystery, our mystery, you feel me? But we putting it back together now, in the
Indeed.
Shout out to
One
Hey
of the
Roo.
things about the tribes, and we know that there were
Shout out to
many,
Hey Roo in the
right?
super chat.
As you speak about Texas, we know that there were tribes all over the Americas, not just in North America, but also in Central and South. What would you say is the difference between the tribes that come out of the Deep South versus some of the tribes that you would find in places like Ohio, the Appalachian and New Jersey tribes, the Connecticut tribes, some of the tribes that were defeated during the King Philip's War and things of that nature?
Well, the difference would be really the culture. Down south, we had more land to work with, so we were more agriculturalists, and a lot of our empires kind of surfaced around the Gulf or the Caribbean area. If we're gonna deal with Florida, to be specific, we're dealing with Florida or their coastline going into Carolina, where they dealt in South America. Also, what we call the Yucatan Peninsula, in the Gulf Coast areas right there, Galveston Island, Port of Louisiana, dealing with those ports. But also they had connections with those Indians that came up to Mississippi.
Yes.
Because it's gonna stretch, the empire gonna stretch from Haiti, New Orleans, up to Mississippi into Canada, and all the way down to Quebec, which was France before 1763, the Treaty of Paris, when the French lost the French and Indian War. British Quebec, but before that, it was a part of the French Empire.
Right.
And they allied with the Choctaw down there. But for that, it'll be mainly like the culture. We were ranchers, cowboys, or what they want to call it. You feel me? And
right, horsemen.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for the tribes, they were a little more into they had commercial enterprise as well as empires, and they were more dealing with a governmental body for as, how can I put it, what we call England.
Right.
Yeah, Europe. So they had a lot of commerce and bloodline, back and forth from there.
Okay.
But we'll find that out through the story of America, the U.S., as we see them come from upstate, northern parts, and come down to South.
Right.
Yeah.
When you brought up Mississippi, are you speaking of Natchez by any chance?
Yeah, Natchez played a part. Natchez was the most wealthiest place during
Lee needs you in the super chat.
War. So that time, that era, Natchez, Mississippi, one. So my family, they from the town right outside of Natchez, Roxy, and
right.
The Natchez Indians, of course, which had one of the most bloodiest wars here against those French invaders. And then we know about the Devil's Punch Bowl, what happened after the Civil War, right? When they massacred them. But Mississippi, they had a company, a guy named John Law in the 1700s, created a company called Mississippi. As we see, a lot of companies will become states later as the U.S. expand. Right. Ohio, you brought up Ohio, had the Ohio company.
Right.
Got Massachusetts, you said Massachusetts, they got Massachusetts company, Virginia. So,
East Indian Company.
Correct. So a lot of that will play into because a lot of these names will not So they, for instance, if they say a European name, for instance, let's just say London. Well, they might say London on the paper, but and when we read it, we might look at it as New York. You know what I'm saying? We're calling it New York, but if they call it London, then that's going over our head. You know what I mean? Because we're not understanding what they were before they became unstable. And I think that's a big part of the story that's missing. You know, they come talking over our head.
Right. Right. What a lot of people don't realize, and you know, it's kind of common sense, but you know, this is one of those things. If they didn't teach me this in school, then it's not real because my Jewish teacher never said it. So how could it be facts?
Right.
You brought up, you know, the fact that
Hey, Urban, I remember you sent me something on Lord Jamar. Yeah, I'm down, man. Set it up, Urban, if you still got that plug. Urban Engine. If you still got that plug, I remember you sent me a message say Lord Jamar wanted to build with me. Definitely. You know, that was supposed to happen like 2 years ago. My conversation with Red Pill supposed to happen like 2 years ago. So, you know, a lot of things are coming full circle now. And so yeah, I'm down, Urban. You know what I'm saying? If you still got that plug. BCU, what's up? Y'all wanna go over to Lord Jamar house, and you know, a lot of people they wanna hear this information. And you know, BCU, we've been rocking Urban. Shit, man, I met Urban in person. You know, there's a lot of people in the chat that I haven't met, but Urban Engine in the chat, yes. We shook hands. Yes, we had a build in real life. You know what I mean? So shout out to Urban.
certain places that we were taught in history, you know, like let's
Ariana.
say Morocco, for example.
Ariana Nicole
but
is in this mother.
they'll talk about Morocco in history, but when we look at Morocco of today, it was founded in the 50s.
Yeah.
So we're not putting into context that they might have been talking about a different Morocco. You're putting a modern day context into a historical narrative,
Right.
and that's necessary. That's not necessarily
their fault. It's really, you know what I mean? I understand it, or the readers understand it, you know what I mean? Because they may have the right answer on the paper, but if you don't have the eyes to see, then it might go over your head. Correct.
Right. So what I've done is I compiled some images. All right. I have a slideshow that I put together with some powerful images. I want to walk us all through these images and then get to, you know, break down some of this information through the lens of the images and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up this PowerPoint. Can you see it right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool beans.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. So
What
I
up,
named
man?
I named it the Black Colonizers, right? Because a lot of people are unfamiliar with the history of, you know, once again, we have reconstructed and revised history, and we have no idea that some of the people who came into the Americas from the Iberian Peninsula and from other places, like when they came into St. Augustine in Florida and whatnot, or when they came along the coast of Charlestown in South Carolina, some of these people were heavily melanated. Okay, when you hear about the pirates, Drake and the other pirates and things of that nature, Port Royal in Jamaica and the pirates of the Caribbean, a lot of our people have no idea that these are melanated people based off of what Disney showed them in a movie.
Nah, them boys right there.
Yeah, so we're gonna walk through some things. A lot of people are talking about the connections to melanated people in Mexico, right? Or what they call Mexico today, in the Mayan civilization, right? And they tie in things that our ancestors in Cuba and some of our ancestors in the Americas and whatnot, and they make a connection. Does anybody know any of the connections that we have to the Mayans, right? I see a lot of melanated people running to Tulum, and before that it was Cancun, right? You spoke, somebody brought up the Yucatan Peninsula, right? Brother Taj Tariq Bey speaks about the Yucatan Peninsula,
I
and he
wanted to
speaks
take him
about the
down there
origin
with
of the
me.
European that we know today, actually originating in the Yucatan and whatnot. When I see a lot of our people going to Mexico, like you know, and saying that they feel like they are home, they don't want to leave, you know, it just was healing for them, you know. And then I see these images of the Olmecs and the Mayans. I'm like, well, maybe you just going back home. Can you break down what some of the connections to the ancient Mayan civilization and melanated people?
Yeah. I guess you want me to share my screen?
Yes, sir.
See, I wasn't
Okay,
prepared,
good.
man. I
Yes,
wasn't
indeed.
prepared. I wish I would have knew the topics so I could have had. All right, just let me know when I'm up.
Yes, sir. You up?
I'm a good freestyler, all right. So I would have just rather to the Mayan section. So we'll come here. So the Mayans, for as my nation, right, or coincided. So in 1720, you had a map right here. You got the Cherokee, Coxsackie Creek, Ute, and they're allied with the French. These areas right here are gonna be ran by mine. Like my nation, they speak the same language as the Isamaya. Right here in the source, it say the three of the Muskogee, Choctaw, Chickasaw known writers and Aboriginal inhabitants of America, Mobilians. They said that these tribes, Cortez said that these were the tribes of the Aztec, and he's speaking about the tribes in Alabama. Right here, you got the Hichiti, which is a Mayan. They also spoke the Mayan language, but if y'all know about the Seminoles, 1861, those wars there in Florida, a lot of them spoke about it.
Yes.
You got when you look into the southeast, what they call the five civilized tribes is gonna come from 1791, George Washington civilization plan. Well, the five civilized tribes, when you go into their oral stories, they all speak about corn deities. And so when we go into the mines, it's the same conversation. You know, they also have corn deities.
Right. Isn't Osiris a corn deity or Asar?
Right. So Osiris, I might have it in the slide right here. Osiris is a corn deity as well. So he's a green man. He represents what he's a green man. So
right.
All green men is agriculturalists. The agriculture is corn because corn is what enables people to stay in one spot for long enough time to build a civilization. So every weeping deity is also associated with it. And also Osiris is what they call a resurrection deity. So our resurrection deities are going to go back to green men, which are called the agriculture corn.
Agriculturists, right, because of the harvest.
Bible. Yeah, we see it in the Bible as well, as they were weeping for Tammuz. And so even in Egypt, when they say Isis is crying, and they're talking about so all these deities lead back to the corn deities. In the Brooklyn Museum, they actually had it. But Florida region was built up by the Mayans. You have Punchano right here. Punchano was a Mayan. In Cartersville, Georgia, you have
the Etowah Mounds.
Etowah Mounds, correct. And they found a lot of motifs of what the Mayans had down there. Even the blue that the Mayans have something called Mayan blue. And the largest source of that clay to make pigment is found in Southwest Georgia. So the Mayan blue they mined it that right here in Georgia. So this is a colony, one of the colonies for them in Georgia. I ain't had
another thing.
My bad.
When they had the gold rush in the North Georgia mountains right. Did that involve Mayan gold? Because I do believe they were talking about cities of gold and things of that nature.
Yeah, it was all about the gold. So right after 1791, the Cherokee moved down in the South. Out of all 5 civilized tribes, the Cherokee are not from the South. They from upstate New York. They speak an Iroquois language. So if they came down, hey, can we get the lights up, family? How y'all doing? I hope y'all feeling all right. It's Wednesday, hump day. We halfway through the week. I'm trying to stay consistent with coming out here and building with y'all. Get on a more consistent basis. Basically with the trivia, we having trivia every Sunday. So tonight, Dosey and them, they gonna be on Discord and study group, for those who want to study and prepare for trivia this weekend. Our champion right now is Carla Faye. Hold on, my bad. Shakiri Faye. Okay? Shakiri, Carla Faye. Carla Faye, goddamn it. But yeah, we wanted to get some more. We had 10 people participate. So this time we want to at least double it. You know what I mean? Get some participation out there, man, and let's grow together. Let's study together. Let's learn together. Let's build together. So tonight, Dosey, I'm not sure if y'all still gonna be back there. I might pass through there. I might stop by in Discord because I want make sure y'all we on the right track and we really doing our due diligence. You know what I mean? Be known as the Westos. They'll be Indian Raiders, but okay, moved at 7 p.m. The U.S. Came into. They signed a treaty. They had already had a treaty with the Cherokee called the Treaty of Hopewell, 1783, 86, and 88. Then they came back with the Treaty of Hosting in 1791 because the Cherokee was still trading with people down in Florida. So that's what they came back. And then they had the Treaty of Tellico. After Tellico, the Cherokee government was established in 1794. Y'all can look this up. Cherokee government, 1794 to 1907. This is Oklahoma came in the statehood. But
so who would be the Hopewell Indians that they speak of?
Hopewell was really a name that derived after the Civil War from a guy who ended up taking over the area. But that'll go back into the ancient mound builder.
The Mississippians?
Yeah, the Mississippians will come after them. And that'll be the descendants of what they call this era of Hopewell. You got the Adena culture. But you're going back into ancient time because we know that the mounds predate the pyramids.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Cherokee, real quick, the Cherokee moved down into that land because it was old ancestral territory, it was mine territory. And they knew the resources under there because that was the name of the game, where the resources are.
Right. Snatch the resources. All right. So I have another image right here that we have Mississippi, okay, of the tribes. As you can see, family, heavily melanated. And this is not just this ain't a typo, they be like, the people, they're dark because there's dust on the picture. No, man, let's not be retarded. This is melanated people, what they would call swarthy back in Europe. Are these depictions of the tribes accurate depictions based off of your research?
That's a fact. Yeah, these would be accurate depictions. Yeah, I go with that one here. Okay. When we go over the European, like this is high commodity over there in their museums. They kind of hide it from us over here, but a lot of these are in their museums over there.
Yes, definitely. Heavily, I went to London and I went in their museum. A lot of stolen artifacts, a lot of truth over there. And it's definitely to my understanding that a lot of the natives were shipped to the European Isles as a result of, being prisoners of war, going all the way back to King Philip's War. They had a large exodus of prisoners that they sent over right across, because the way that Connecticut and Boston and everything is lined up with Europe, it's a straight shot across. So they were shipping them both to the islands, to Dominican Republic, to what they call Hispaniola, and they were also shipping our people to Barbados, and they were also shipping them to London and places, Liverpool and things of that nature.
Right. Watch this here, Red. What's the name of that area in Massachusetts called? What's one of the nicknames?
Massachusetts is
The Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots, right?
Now, who the Patriots are?
Mm-hmm.
New England.
New England Patriots with the football team and all of them.
So when we looking at it, it's gonna be a bloodline. So when we talking in empires, this is gonna be empires. You know, this is gonna be where the empires and the bloodlines are gonna stretch to.
Right.
The tribes, when we break it down, we never went by tribes. Tribes always been what they call Plains Indian culture, Southwest Indian culture. We went under chieftains or empires for another word because we went by coastal arms. That's the value of our surnames because that's where the record keeping is kept in the surnames, and the surnames go back, you know, and that's where our stories are, and so that's why they work so hard to tell us a part of the surnames. You know, they told us the history. You feel me? We didn't have you know, our last name was given us by someone. These are the reasons why they want to disconnect us from our royalty and our heritage, because a lot of us, the story is about us. You feel me? And to connect us from what we are in the story is what's to cut us off from the name.
So you're saying that if I have a surname, it's assumed that, you know, I'm a part of a bloodline, that information was passed down to me from mouth to ear that pertains to my bloodline, and it pertains to the history that my family would have that's specific to them. So if you were to go somewhere and you mention your name or your surname, it's assumed, okay, this person has this, he has the knowledge, he has the data, he has the history, he has the pedigree of his people.
Well, I don't think they're assuming. Back in the past, it went that way. If we remember, you know, our grandparents, you address them by what? By their first and last name, or you address the families by their surnames, and
yes,
in our communities. And so that's because, you know, in the front they'll put a sign, the Johnsons live here, so on and so forth. So when we go back to plantations, these plantations were they weren't named after businesses or companies, they were named after surnames.
Right.
And so through the story, they tell us that we were given our surnames by slave owners. But when we look into the records, the slave owner is really gonna be your grandfather or head of household, family member. You feel me? And you know, due to how the laws were back then, them not letting American Indians or having the status for them in the jurisdiction of the new U.S. And even before then, in the colonies, when they had the Continental Congress, or what they were doing down in Massachusetts, or their political system in Virginia. Yeah.
Okay. This next clip, this is my good brother Taliek Untold right here with him and his beautiful daughters. One of the reasons why I wanted y'all to see this is because of the phenotype. Even when we look at our good brother Topcatz.
Hey, y'all, the tickets, those who want to participate, the tickets, hold on, let me see if I can pin it. Let me see if I can pin it. Angie B, what up, though? All right. Tickets pinned up at the top for those who want to participate tonight, 7 p.m. The family will be in the back. Shout out to Corey, that boy from Florida, and Bryce for the love and the cash out. Tickets pinned up there, man. We had 10 people participate last week. Let's see if we can double it this week. Let's try to get better every week. If you want to get better in the information, Discord tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. The family will be studying. So, pop out.
His phenotype. when you begin to look at the artwork of our ancestors, the hidden artwork, right, the depictions of us before they whitewashed us and things of that nature, you'll begin to realize throughout the years, even with all of the mixing of bloodlines that we've been going through and whatnot, we haven't changed very much. Okay, we are who we was before we got here, so not much has changed phenotypically. Okay, so I want y'all to realize that when you see these images of us, both modern and ancient, these are the same people. Okay, these are the same people.
Yeah, yeah. And let me vet you back on that.
Yes.
That's why I always be asking about your last name and stuff, how we might be having some connections. Because me and Topcatz family got like I you know our chieftains got got connections in Liberty, Texas. You
Shout out
know
to
what I'm
Liberty.
saying? And I found out some of our people were doing a lot of working together, against a lot of different colonizers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
we
one
were
of my
ship
lines,
builders
lines goes to
and
Liberty,
building
Texas, with my
wells
bluff.
and shit like
We
that.
the Panther Band of the Attack of Our Eshak, which spread all the way out to St. Martinsville, Louisiana, Opelousas. And we've been dated back like over 14,000 years, Southeast Texas, Louisiana. We still had the same green corn ceremony that the Olmecs celebrated. We still had a red okra ceremony that the Olmecs,
Don't
did
tell
the
me I
same,
ain't got
the
no
same
more
ceremony.
smoke.
Yes.
But the word jambalaya is actually a Attack Eshak word.
Shout out to Khalil. Khalil, bro, you another one I want to see in the tournament, bro. Khalil, you another one I want to see in the tournament, bro. You too goddamn smart. You know what I'm saying? You too smart not to be competing, man. D to the O to the C. Mermaid. I'ma hold my breath until I feel it in my chest when I go under. You be making waves. My ship here to stay. Some shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? That's something I cook every day. But
Hey, get the likes up, family. How y'all doing out there, man? I promise you, if you get on that like button, you're gonna have a great day. Because what you're doing is putting good energy out into the universe, and the universe is gonna bring it back. Put that good energy in there, man. Jump on that like button
yeah, man, this the bloodlines
and support the show. Man, we got Brother Taliek Soul Food Vegan. We got Red Pill from Know the Ledger. And we got the Legendary.
still here. Like, you know what I'm saying? How I cracked a lot of this stuff that's doing the genealogy. My old lady. You know what I'm saying? And my immediate homeboys and family. You know, so I just found out like my cousin's baby dad is Napoleon's fourth great grandson. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I think I sent you a picture of Napoleon too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the truth is stranger than fiction, especially when it's your story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Napoleon definitely was a person of color. His brother Joseph, I also got them in my line too. Philadelphia, you know, a lot of their history. They got, I think it's South Side Philadelphia. They got a historical marker of Joseph Bonaparte. That's gonna be Napoleon's brother, and really how the war ended up starting out because in 1808, Napoleon won the war with the Spanish against Charles, and he ended up putting his brother Joseph on the throne. So that's gonna split, and that's what's gonna cause the build up what came to the Mexican Revolution at the end of in 1820s. And then that's why in that war in the Mexican Revolution, it was more people that looked like us died in it. I mean,
Right.
they even tell you that on Wikipedia that
Right.
most people that died in it, because those people, you know, this story is about us.
Right. So here we
Yeah,
have
under the sea type
different
shit.
depictions of
Under the
melanated
sea type
people
shit, Doc.
in different areas all across the Americas. Okay. So we have on the East Coast, we have tribes on the West Coast, we have the Midwest, we have down south. And if you could see the images, it's pretty much the same type of people. Okay. heavily melanated, copper tone complexion,
London.
empires of our people. Even in this image right here with the ancient Aztecs, you can see who they are depicting. Right? This does not look like my dude in them from Mexico that we identify with as the modern day Mexican. And if you go to Mexico and sit down with them and have a thoughtful conversation, they would even reveal that to you. They don't hold back on giving you the information. At least for me when I went down there.
Man, Topcatz got some dope for you on that one, man. Go on, drop it, man.
Okay.
He out there, man.
Do you want to share your screen top? Because I was just
I ain't on that laptop, but I went down to Mexico City to the Anthropology Museum. You know, that's where all of the information, you know, for what they consider Mesoamerica coming from.
Yes.
And inside there, the depictions of the Aztec all look like this picture that you have up right here. And that's one that's I mean, you can't, it's nothing to talk about. When we go down there to the source, it's so real that they couldn't even hide it. Yeah, so right, they had the codexes up, and all of the people on there look like this picture right here.
Right. Right. Definitely. Let us continue to go through these pictures. I have a lot of them right now. So there's a conversation about Black slave owners or melanated slave owners, or our role in what they call chattel slavery or indentured servitude. Could we go a little bit into that? That's a area that causes a lot of contention and utter confusion amongst the people who, you know, because of the social engineering, they can never perceive a melanated person in the role of a slave master. So can we just give a breakdown as to what we know slavery to be back then versus what the propaganda or what the depictions of Alex Haley and other people's version of slavery is?
Yeah, well, we'll start out here with this book you have up, Black Slave Owners, Free Black Slave Masters, South Carolina. But I think the point was told to us on the race bait. You know, white people don't like you because of your skin, or it put the black people in an inferior position. When we're talking about the 13 colonies were built off of what we call Black European kings. So before we get to the slave owning part, real quick, we have to acknowledge who the king is. Right. Because the purporters are the people who are going to found the colonies, and then we're going to see migrations of Europeans coming to these different colonies, such as Virginia, under the Virginia Company of London, who was owned by King James. King James, who was a melanated man. King James had a son named King Charles I, who also is depicted as a melanated man. He lost the wars, what they call the Sister Wonder. War. His son, King Little Charles II, just brought up Charlestown. Charlestown, South Carolina, is named after him, and also him. Right. Charlestown in Boston, Massachusetts. You had Charles Street, the Charles River, and they were Catholics. You feel me? They defended the Catholic faith, but the defenders of them were known as the Jacobites. And so these black men are going to establish what is called the 13 colonies. So the slave owners, no, they still had to pay taxes to the king. So before we even get to the slave owning part, we're going to acknowledge that the kings were people of color. Then when we get to the slave owner part, when we go into the records, they have what's called slave schedules. Since 1790, they've been creating censuses here. And so they have actual slave records where we can go to. I want to share my screen real quick.
Yes. Let me
on this, but
yes, sir.
I want to show you something real quick. Hold up.
Yeah, we playing ping pong. So anytime you want to throw your screen up, just go ahead. We're gonna go back and forth with it.
I bet.
We're gonna go band for band.
All right, so we're gonna go band for band. We go M for M. Double R and a Ray back in. So then a Mayban choice, some shit like that. yeah, I didn't know, I wasn't prepared on what we was gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know. So I was trying to do the best, but we hibachi. We could get the hibachi, we could cook it up right in front of you. So that's why to me I didn't do so well. Not because of that. I just feel like I wouldn't if I would have knew what the topic was, then I would have, you know what I'm saying? But it still worked out. It was organic, you know what I'm saying? Me and Red have actually done a show before. He actually came over here, and it's a show up on my channel if y'all want to check it out. It's actually really dope. And just look up Topcatz and Red Pill. And so I was just trying to, cook up hibachi with the questions he was asking. I didn't know what was, none of the questions or none of this shit. So let's walk. Right here, we're going to come to the census. Now, we want to this is a slave schedule, slave inhabitants right here.
Right, that's like a report card.
And this is in 1850. So this is a time where they say all of us are supposedly be
right.
So when we go through here, right here is the number of slaves. If we notice, it has a 1 all the way down. So these people gonna have a number of slaves. The color of the slave master is right here. You see a B, M is for mulatto. That's just mixed person.
Right.
But the slave owners all have B's by their name. Hold up, I'm gonna go up. We're gonna come over to a different one. And let's come over here. Same thing. When we look at the color of the slave master, you have B's and M's all the way down. Now we're gonna go to Indian Territory. This is Mississippi, 1850. Now these are places where they're telling us all these white folks got us all enslaved and all of this. But again, when we look on here, all of the slave masters have B's next to their name. Let me come down here where they have the names at. Right here, this is in Virginia, 1850s. And you have I's and M's right here. Indians
and mix.
Yeah, Indians and mix, correct. But the Indians are going to be classified as Negroes. So that's another one that I have to show you. But one of the things I want to show is right here we have Fred Gobert. This is 1860. The number of people we have enslaved is 3. Now, what's interesting about this here, this is going to be his family who's actually enslaved. And when we go over here, it's going to have I's, Indians, and M's on it. Fred is a Choctaw Indian. So this is going to come out for their roles. So the point I wanted to show is there's a way to find out. You feel me? Instead of them just giving us a story, and then we haven't even went back and did our research and did our due diligence to check and see.
Right.
As far as we going into any slave records, we're gonna find, we can find out what color the slave master was, and what we're finding out is that we have a misunderstanding on what slavery was, because these are actually our families in a lot of these cases.
So what's the story where we hear about indentured servants, right? And it's to my understanding that these indentured servants that we've heard about in the Americas were European men and women and whatnot. And also when they speak about the Civil War and those slaves who were fighting for their freedom and whatnot, those were depicted as melanated people who were slaves. But due to research that I've been doing, there was a group of Europeans who were called, I forgot the name. I think they were called Banshees. They were the ones who were barefoot and they had like matted hair, and they were the ones running through and basically screaming like banshees. That was their war cry and whatnot. And it was said that these were the indentured servants of Irish descent, right? And some of them were also of Sephardic descent, Jewish descent as well. Do you have any information about that?
All right. So in 1603, King James is going to unite the crown. He's going to become the king of England, Scotland, and Ireland. March 14, 1607, they're going to come to Virginia, establish 1619, they'll establish their colony. From there, they'll start to bring over indentured servants. And the indentured servants will be Scots and Irish. And we know that because we had, they did well on record keeping in this. And so they built colonies. So, like as you spoke of earlier, Barbados, 1627, they got Carlisle. He ended up getting the charter from Charles I, and they went to Barbados. This is for the British, so they're gonna be in Virginia, Barbados, Penn, and Barnabas. They're gonna get the Spanish. They're gonna defeat the Spanish and get into Jamaica. And now British has a post in Jamaica. You spoke about Port Royal earlier. And so now they have South Carolina, 1670, which they're gonna get Port Royal down there. And then they're gonna name Charlestown after Charleston, right? So these indentured servants, Scottish and Irish, was coming there because they were having wars in Europe at this time. As I spoke of earlier, you had what's called the civil wars of Europe. It was three, or what they call the War of Three Kingdoms.
Yes.
After that, that'll lead to these indentured servants coming. Also, you had the Jews and the Moors are going to be expelled. When they expelled, in order for them, Charleston became a Protestant state.
Right.
So they allowed you in as long as you wasn't Catholic. So a lot of Sephardic Jews who left the Iberian Peninsula found shelter there, and they started coming in 1681, and under the title of Huguenot. You can find them under Huguenot. I just left Charleston 2 weeks ago. I stopped by the Huguenot church that is still active today. A lot of them are going to play a role in the Revolutionary War, but they'll fight on the side of the British.
Right.
You had the upper colonies where the U.S. Started to be formed through them confederacies. They'll actually be the ones that's bringing over the indentured servants, but they did have a lot of Irish come there to Virginia and the Massachusetts charter. Yeah. And then indentured servant went on all the way into the Bacon's Rebellion in Virginia. Right.
Okay. The slide that I have up here, these two books are very interesting reads. The Slavs and the Slave Trade and Asian Slaves in Colonial Mexico. Can we speak on that? And I also want to do a little bit of unpacking about the French Huguenots and the Black Jacobites for the family and how they become the Creole and things of that nature, and what role do they play in French and New Orleans, Louisiana, American history?
Okay, bet. Let me all right, we're gonna ping pong. I'm gonna come up.
Okay.
All right, so Asian Slaves in Colonial Mexico is a book by a lady named Taliek who come out of University of Miami, I think it was. And it's talking about Asians becoming slaves in Mexico. And so I had a word for it called Chinos, known as Sanglis. These Sangli people are going to be in Philippines. So you had a trade, again, we're speaking about empires. Yucatan had an empire, Polynesian, Philippines, in these different areas. Where the Spanish is going to hijack it. It's called the Manila Galleon. And right here in 1587, you're going to get the landing of the Filipinos and the Spanish. They're going to build a colony called Morro and Morro Bay in California. I'm sorry. So the trade that happened is called the Manila Galleon. So this Manila Galleon, they're going to end up enslaving the indigenous people of the Philippines. So right here, you have the Luzon, who will be this Asian. If you see the baby right here,
right, Asiatic,
Asian mix, correct. So on the right, you'll see the indigenous population. Well, the mix was because there you had the Chinese. The Chinese were trading there before the Spanish got there. So you had what's called a Chinese mestizo, my bad. So when you see this depiction of them who became, they built class systems, and the lighter you were, the more Chinese blood, the Asian blood you actually had, they put the indigenous Filipinos. So that's called Chinese mestizos. Right here, it'll tell us that from the beginning of Spanish occupation, 1740, they started classifying them into different class systems, and we'll see them put them at the bottom. Now, these are what they call Spaniards. Today we'll call them Mexicans.
Right.
Yeah, they look like Mexicans today. And even the culture right here with their cultural dresses, we still do see them at their celebrations like this. Well, this is actually a China poblana, which has nothing to do with China, but this is a tradition that comes from the slaves brought over from the Philippines. So when we see them today, this lady right here will look like a Mexican or Hispanic today. Should actually be what's called a Chino slave. So these are descendants of them. And right here, that's the source right here. And in Mexico, it's under the law, they became Indians. Becoming indigenous vassals of Spanish crown, the Chinos, they could no longer be held as slaves, and then in this book talk about the journey that they took from the slave market in Manila to the streets of Mexico City.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And in 1898, you had what's called the Spanish War. It ended in 1902. You had Howard Taft, 27th president. He was over there. He ended up, after the war, they started actually bringing over Filipinos here. And in 1922, that was the first time they offered people that would come to be known as Native Americans, they offered them citizenship into the U.S. 1922 was the first time. But these Filipinos who was brought over in 1902, they would also fall under that category with the Pacific Islanders and so on and so forth. Later in the 60s when they get the term Native American.
Okay, interesting. Let's go back to some of these images real quick. I'm gonna run through some of these images and we'll talk about that. Taliek, and I'm gonna get to you with this Huguenot talk because you were one of my teachers about the whole Huguenot thing and the Cajuns, and it blew my mind. So I want to build with you on that. These are some images, family, once again, of the Aztecs, the Incas, and whatnot, the Mayans, just to give you some correlation to what it is that we're talking about. Of course, you can see the phenotypes of our people with some of the Olmec artifacts and whatnot. Yeah, heavily melanated.
Hold up, right here, Red. I don't mean to break your will.
Okay.
Go back to that picture you just on.
Yes.
The one after this one.
This one?
Now go back right here. So
yes.
The one on the left, this the picture that I was saying I seen in the Anthropology Museum in Mexico City. This it right here.
Okay, with the leopard.
Yeah, with the leopard, and it ain't no denying it. Yeah, that's a primary.
Yeah. My boy is dripping. And as you can see, here are some images of our family, different phenotypes, of course. But as you can see, when they have these images corresponding to their tribes and whatnot, you can see the phenotypical similarities of people of today. Okay. So can we speak to how did the whitewashed image of the quote unquote Mexican looking Indian come about? And how did they manage to completely remove our images from, when it comes to when you hear the word Iroquois or Chickasaw, you don't think about us. You don't even have an image of us in our head. You're thinking about the Tonto Indian, or what they would call the quote unquote, the low plain Indian.
Right. All right, we're gonna ping pong real quick.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna come over here. So, like I said before, 1922, before they offered citizenship to them, they were known as Plain Indians. Plain Indians, they lived in Canadian prairies, Native American tribes, First Nation Band government, and they lived on the interior or the Great Plains. Now, right here, what happened was that the government and military forces of Canada and the United States have made Plains Indians culture, groups, and archetype in literature and in art for Native Americans everywhere.
Everywhere. Yes, they have.
So that's what happened when we. That's why when we. This was by design. You know what I mean? This was
Right.
by design, and so yeah, from Canada to the United States government. Notice it said government. They have made this the poster child. You know, in art and literature. You know what I mean? Everywhere for all people that would be classified under the Native American, Indian, First Nation, Aboriginal, or whatever you want to turn you about.
So it's a instead of a whitewash, it's a red wash.
Right, it's propaganda. Yeah.
Okay, so this right here is very interesting, because it you know, it's a quagmire. You know what I mean? It's an endless rabbit hole when we talk about the DNA test, the erroneousness behind the DNA test, how they've been kind of like sending out people in circles over these years with the 1, 2, 3 and me and you, in fact, whatever those things are, ancestry.com and whatnot. Could we speak about what is the differences between the genealogy test and the DNA test, and what is it that you've done in your quest to find your history through the genealogy test, and also how to spot the fake, how to spot these different ones that are basically lying and not being upright with their research?
Well, first off, I'll say this here: the difference between genealogy and the DNA test is one is coming from. So the topic at hand is the question is us in search of ourselves, who we are. Will be the whole purpose of us even looking into these things. Who we are, which one gonna answer the question? Well, with the DNA test, we're asking someone who know nothing about us. With the genealogy is more oral history, which comes from the family.
Right.
Your family will tell you who you are. Basically, at the age of around the age of understanding, a lot of us were told, you know what I mean, who we were, whether we took it in or if we just heard it and kept moving through life. And one day, we were on that frequency and it came back to us or something, or brought us this age of awakening that's here today. You know what I mean? A lot of people are hearing these things and remembering those conversations. But
right,
with the genealogy, basically, you have a parent, you have two parents who have parents. So basically, we're gonna go back as far as we can to discover who was, who's the next parent, and in that, while we're looking for that, we'll find ourselves. But through the DNA test, even with the Rick Kittle situation, this is something called science they brought. So in '87, they came with the Eve mitochondrial DNA, the Eve gene. And out of Africa theory sprung out of that. Well, then they came back in 1990 with something called the Human Genome Project. And 1991 in New York, they were building the government building, the story go, and underneath it, they ran into a burial ground where they had the ground tested, and it ended up being American Indian and European bones found there. Well, they had a new program at Howard University going on, so they paid $24 million. It was a $24 million program for Howard University to investigate it. Now they said because they directly targeted our people with this test, because they said that it was activists there, black activists, saying that it needed to be black people studying these bones that were found there. So they went to Howard University, $24 million project, and one of the genetics on the team was Rick Kittles. Another guy was Michael Blakey, who ended up writing about it and talking about it. And he's gonna let you know that Rick Kittles actually ended up joining the program with the government to actually start it. So it wasn't black owned. It was directly and intentionally for us, but they targeted us through that program with Howard University. Y'all can look that up. And out of it came what's called the African it's an African museum down there with the Sankofa on it, and I can't think of the name of it, but they ended up building a museum down there, African museum down there after it. You know,
where was this again? I'm sorry.
It's in New York. It's the Sankofa, the African burial ground. My bad. It's called
okay, right there by downtown.
Right.
But they also have the Native American Museum in that area as well.
Yeah, but they're not gonna give us no history on us. With the African burial ground, they had to step away from calling it a Sankofa because they centerpiece was a Sankofa on there. They said they found coffins facing the east, and that the people had waistbands, and these were signs of African culture. Well, then they went back and found out that the Sankofa wasn't even around at the time of that this burial would have happened, and so now the museum has stepped away from calling it a Sankofa.
Right. Interesting.
So it's another way of them directly trying to put an African story on top of the indigenous story, instead of just telling the real story. This was us here.
When people hear the word Mississippi, right? Because of the lies that we've been told, because of the quote unquote falsehoods that we've been fed and whatnot, it doesn't evoke enough memory in the minds of someone, let's say from up north or across the pond or wherever. They don't understand what that means. So when they hear the term Mississippian culture or the Mississippi mound builders, they can't necessarily draw an image or a picture or a point of reference. Do you have any information about the Mississippians, why Mississippi is so important, and why it always comes up when we're talking about ancient Aboriginal indigenous history?
Mississippi is the big mama of America. Mississippi is big mama. First off, you can go right through the heart of what is U.S. today. You can go all the way up to Canada. It'll drop you off in the Gulf. So you got access for as commercial trade. You got access through a lot of different routes. We know water in these areas you're gonna eat. You're gonna have the necessities of life. And then on top of that, they just so happen to be standing on some of the most fertile soil on this planet, period. They have dirt in the ground where you can't get nowhere else on this planet. And so that's why the wealth gap was so far away from those in the north and those in the south.
Right.
Mainly because of what came from the soil there. And through the Mississippi, the way that we see them is the culture. The culture, we still, what they call country culture.
Right.
They country down there. Well, that's Mississippian culture. We country. Beans and rice, and cornbread, the what they call soul food. That'll be considered Southeastern Indians. Soul food will fall under what is called Southeastern Indian cuisine. Sports, you know what I mean? They had ancient sports back then. A lot of these type of things, the fishermen, and but the culture really stands today. What we see the South is today, for us culturally, that's the culture of the Mississippians. That's the same culture that we still living in. It's fading away now. A lot of things getting watered down. A lot of the elders are moving on, but that era when we were young,
right,
we watched our grandparents, and that was the real way. That was the real way. But that was the Mississippi culture. What made the South great? What made them? Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. When you see these two images, my good brother, what type of memories did this invoke to you?
Oh man, knowledge of self.
Okay.
Knowledge of self. The what they call the old way, what they like to say, the good old days.
Good old days, right?
Yeah.
Ancient way. No doubt. All right. Once again, family, just showing y'all
Align me. What
ancient
up, though?
artwork, depictions of our people that you may have never seen before. Just dispelling a lot of the post-Hollywood, post-Disney, post-fabricated images and motifs of who our people are, based off of the whitewashing, or what somebody called earlier the rice washing of history. Okay. Could we talk about some of the rebellions and some of the quote unquote wars that took place and the battles that took place that ultimately changed the trajectory of these empires in the Americas?
Yeah, we'll get one of the most famous ones. So I know a lot of people familiar with the 1740 Negro Act. Well,
Yes.
the 1740 Negro Act, it came about because in 1739 there was a war. Well, hold on, let me walk it down. So 1601, 1603, you get the Queen Anne War. I'm sorry, 1701, 1703, you get the Queen Anne one.
Queen Anne?
Yeah, Queen Anne, she gonna be so we have King James, he gonna be the grandfather. His grandsons are Charles II, the Black Boy King. If y'all get a chance, look that up. Charles II, the Black Boy King. That's who Charleston, South Carolina, named after. Well, his brother James Duke of York had two daughters. So he had one of his daughters was Anne. So after he was put off the throne, his cousin William of Orange came in, which was a Protestant, following that that Huguenot line on that side from the French. And once they took power, his daughters you had the Queen, that was Anne. So you had the Queen Anne Wars, which they were trying to get Port Royal and trying to block that trade down in Florida. But 1711, 1713, you get the Tuscarora War. That's what's gonna split North Carolina and South Carolina. You're gonna get the Yamasee War after that, 1715, 1717. Now, while they was fighting that war, the Jacobites, defenders of the Stuarts, were also fighting the war at that time too. And a lot of them are coming and getting to serving the POWs. But in 1739, you got a rebellion called the Stono Rebellion, because you had a group of Indians there called the Stonos. So if we look on the old maps, let me see if I can get a PowerPoint up. But yeah, fast enough.
Okay.
You know what? I might. I know mine ain't gonna know that. These wildlife territory. All right, yeah. So you had a people called the Stono Indians.
Yes.
In this and they operated around the Charleston territory. So you had a group of Barbadians came called the Goose Creek Men. The Goose Creek Men, once they came down, they were warned with these particular people. They're gonna unite with the Yamasee and go and start cleaning that area out during the domestic slave trade. But it was a guy, they called him Jeremy, but really it was the Stono Indians who rebelled, and that was a bloody fight. That's what led to what became known as the 1740 Negro Act, where they had to put sanctions on the Indians and all people of color in that area who, unless you, Okay. That was one of the largest ones. You had the 1590 Wale Revolt down in Florida.
Right.
The Wale Indians,
And of course the Seminole Wars 1, 2, and 3.
Well, that'll be the you want to build on the Seminole War. I got some pulled up on that.
Okay.
Pulled up on the Seminoles. So I wouldn't even really call it a war. I call it a this was when everything changed. The military of the United States is going to come directly from these people who are called Seminoles. The Civil War was fought over Indian territory. All right, we're going to ping pong real quick. I'll run through the Seminoles real quick.
Okay.
Now, the Seminoles, it'll start with what's called U.S. expansion. The U.S. started off 13 colonies. 1790, after they get their constitution, they want to move into the south. So they start what's called the civilization plan.
Right.
This is where you get your 5 civilized tribes. So they sent out what's called Indian agents to the southeast to negotiate with different Indian nations to bring them into this new play that they have going. Well, some chose, some didn't. Consequence, we'll see civil wars break out between the Cherokees and these other fractions down there, like the Creeks. So 1811, the Creeks are going to a civil war, and then they have a war better known as the Red Stick Wars. So that'll fall into the Battle of 1812. Now, you have the Battle of Fort Bend, then you have the Battle of Fort Mims, which will win. Then the Creeks will win the Muskogee. Then you'll have Horseshoe Bend, and in 1815 you'll have the Battle of Fort Jackson. After they lose Fort Jackson, they go to Florida. 1816, now they're known as the Seminole. After they allied in Florida, and that's gonna start what would have become known as the Seminole War. I got a few slides I can run through there.
Okay, yeah, pull that up. You said you don't identify it as a war. What would you say it was more of?
Canelo, when Canelo Alvarez fought Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
it was they schooled them.
Okay.
They had already always been the most dangerous. You can see me, I'm up.
Not yet.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay, all right, good. So the Civil War, they'll date the Seminole War from 1816 to 1858. But really the Seminole War didn't stop until after the Civil War. They fought. The Civil War mainly was focused on Indian territory. So the Cherokee, when the U.S. first came about, the Cherokee, the Creek, and the Choctaw signed treaties with them called the Treaty of Hopewell. So they came under the jurisdiction of the U.S.
Right.
Well, they started building the Confederate States, which also was melanated people, right? So they started building Confederate States, and Albert Pike is going to take them out of the jurisdiction of the U.S. and bring them in jurisdiction of the Confederate. That's how you're going to get some Indians or mixed race Indians fighting on that side. One of the famous ones would be this guy right here, Stan Wadey. Now, Stan Wadey come from the family of the Ridge faction, or known as the Treaty Signers. They signed the Treaty of Etowah, and this is the Treaty of New. It'll come to me, but it got his daddy killed, his brother killed, and his cousin John killed.
Damn.
He was the only one that survived the war. Oh, they was banging like Crips and Bloods back then.
Yeah, they were spinning
the war in what's called Indian Territory. So this is the last general of the Confederate to surrender.
Right.
Now, Lincoln put out a plan called the United, and this was for the United States Colored Troops, and they end up letting niggas fight letting our people fight in the war, because before then they were considered contraband.
Right.
When Lincoln let them in, they became the United States Colored Troops. So after this war, after they defeat the last general of the Confederate, now we win the war. So it's a treaty called the Treaty of 1866, which is real important because right now they're going back and forth. Oklahoma is going back and forth to Washington, trying to get it overturned because in 1941, somebody signed a paper and said you kicked the Negroes out of the tribe. But what happened was the Native Americans wasn't present there. And in the treaty, it says that no man can ever come back and make a law to overchange this. So it was a lot of things that we were supposed to get out of that. Now, after the war, all right, Angie, be safe. The United States was banging against what's called the Plain Indians, where they came and got these guys right here called the Seminole Indians. These people they just went to war with.
Right.
8 generals fought against the Seminole Indians. All of them were defeated. Now they came and ended up getting what's called the Seminole Scouts, who came to Texas, guarded the borders of Nacimiento, Texas, and you had them in Brackettville, Texas. And you had a guy named John Horace. We know John Horace. He ended up going to a place called Coahuila, Texas.
Right.
Now, this is Coahuila back in 1900. Red.
Damn, they chilling. What they on?
This Mexico. I think it's 1901. This picture.
Melanated like that.
This Mexico. This
Wow.
was the Seminoles were down there. So this is the predecessors to the Buffalo Soldiers. So this is John Hoy's grandson, John Jefferson. He is a Buffalo Soldier. So before the Buffalo Soldiers, the predecessors to them were the Seminole Indians. The United States came and got the Seminole Indians to fight against these people who are now the Plain Indians, because they wanted to expand the U.S. into Western territories such as, Arizona, Colorado, Oregon, right, California. And so they couldn't whoop them. So they came to get us to whoop them.
Right.
And we ended up fighting them for 25 years. This was the greatness of us. We fought them for 25 years. And this is the real beef with Native Americans and us, because during this 25-year war, this is how they ended up on reservations.
Yeah. Henceforth, the Mexican beef with our people all across the West.
There you go.
Based off of what they said is the betrayal.
Right. So it wasn't even a betrayal, because they were on the other side. They felt as though we sided with the U.S. and we just fought the U.S.
That's what I'm saying. They felt betrayed.
Right. It should be an enemy to them too, because down in the Southwest regions, or what they call the West, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, these areas, it was trading with these people. You know what I mean? So right, some people were coming, but when you got Indians coming out of Missouri, Florida, Alabama, they don't know them. You feel me? And so we were the best of the best, and the U.S. came and got us, and we fought them for 25 years. And you see, like here, the Treaty of Fort Laramie. These people right here were taken in the Battle Valley. They were starving to death. We had to feed them up there. But this is how they ended up in boarding schools. And for this, the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, they put up a 2,000-pound bronze statue to honor soldiers who taught horsemanship to white cadets for 114 years. So the military that they got from the Southeastern Indians, that the fighting style is the U.S. military. You feel me? Yeah.
Right. It's what
they said they felt like Panthers, right?
Yeah. The military genius that comes from the Southeast Indians is the military genius of the United States. And they use the Buffalo Soldiers to go to Cuba, Philippines, the Spanish, and then Ukraine today, then Afghanistan today, with the same genius they used. They went and took over the world with.
Damn.
Hey, but those Chino Indians did fight against a lot of the Indians in the early, I found out in the early 1700s with the Spanish. I've seen some records.
Well, we fought them in 1898. The Buffalo Soldiers went to the Philippines. Now they had Muslims there called Moros in the Philippines. So some of the Buffalo Soldiers left. Weren't popular for leaving and going to fight on side of the Philippines, because these were the melanated Philippines, of course. But the one, his name is David Fagan. He went and fought on that side, and lived in the mountains, was a polygamist, little bit old man there. They treated him like a king. The U.S. put bounties on his head, but we fought them again in 98 to 1902.
I'm gonna pull this picture up right here that says the 3 most dangerous men, and we're talking about Plecker. We're talking about Melville, Hershkovitz, and Alice Hidreka. Hidreka. All right. Can we build on how these are the 3 most dangerous men, and what did they mean to the to our history?
Yeah, when there were a lot of these fields were created to give the authority, you know what I mean, to take the authority out of our hands. So, and they'll be backed by institutions such as Smithsonian, Royal Society, Royal Geographic Society, these different. But as we see with leads here, and him being the authority of making, help making the Mongoloid or the Plain Indian,
The face,
correct,
right?
And
Rice washing us.
with Plecker, a lot of people familiar with him being, also a eugenicist, and
Plecker's the one that changed the status.
Yeah, with the vital statistics, he went back and targeted families and changed their statuses. Because then that's the same year that the Race Integrity Act came, which the people were part of some people who also was working with Marcus Garvey at that time. A guy by the name of he wrote a book called White America, and he spoke about repatriating Africa and that white people couldn't live in the same country as Negroes, and he looking to build a Messiah to take the people back to the promised land. And Garvey was his guy, and that's his name would come to me. But Melville Herkovich created African studies. They don't have eugenicists up there for him, but he came in 1923. He was funded by a sister branch of the eugenics. At that time, they weren't really focused on things he was interested in. He was more so following like Samuel Morton, who came out with the skulls and the scientific racism for that. Well, he was in the measuring Negro skulls and all of these type of things. So his big homie was a guy named Franz Boas. So finally, they're gonna, get a little funding, and he was going around the different schools to prove that he's the first person that's gonna say Negroes have a culture. They're not savages. They have a culture, and their culture is in Africa. It wasn't a melanated man. It was never a black scholar ever came and brought that to us. Melville Herkovich is the first person that came and told black people in America that they had a culture and that their culture was in Africa. And so through the years, he started to prove this. One of the ways he was in Harlem, he was brought there by a lady named Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston also worked on the Franz Boas as well. Well, they got there and they were measuring skulls. They wanted to see if one parent was light skinned, one parent was dark skinned, and he actually, they wanted to see what percentage of Indian that they had. Well, in my book, I'm Not Black, I'm Indian, the Miseducation of Black American. I speak about how he did his test, which said, I think it was over like 60% said that they were African in his test. Well, they told him that he needed to go down to the South. Franz Boas told him he needed to go down to the South and do testing. So they went to Tougaloo University down there, and they did that test, and it came out about, I think 80% of the people said that they had Indian heritage, and then they proved it through family Bibles and oral traditions, oral stories. And so this is something real. And he wrote a book called The Heart of Blackness. I think it was The Heart of Blackness or something like that. But he started what's called African Studies here. And we familiar with a guy by the name of John Henry Clark. Well, John Henry Clark is going to work under Melville Herkovich. He's going to start a sister company called the African Heritage Heritage Studies.
Yikes.
Leonard Jeffries and another guy in 1969. And in the New York Times, he said he's not gonna follow Pan-Africans before him, like Garvey and others who want to take the people physically from the US to Africa when they had so much invested here. So his job now is to take the person to Africa in spirit. So he wanted to keep you here in America and mentally take you to Africa or be African. 1969, New York Times, John Henry Clark. But he worked directly under Melville Herkovich because at that time, all the information was coming out through the African Studies, which anything, he had to stamp everything that came out. Well, they came in California during the student movements, they bust in and said, a quote unquote black caucus, said they wanted to tell their own story. Well, John Henry Clark was one of those black members out of the caucus that actually sat on the board with them. Yeah, and so that's how he became more, a powerful tool, because he was working side by side with powerful men. But John Henry Clark himself said that his parents you know, had American Indian heritage. Runoko Rashidi said he grew up thinking he was Cherokee because his parents told him that when he got older, he found out he was African. John Henry Clark, co-founder, was Dr. What's his name? Oh, I got his face in my head. I'll come back to him, but Dr. Kaba, he said that on his mother and his father's side, I think his dad's side has 3. Dad was out of Alabama Indians. Leonard Jeffries, I'm sorry, that's his name. He helped found that with John Henry Clark. But Leonard Jeffries spoke about having Powhatan ancestry and that his grandfather didn't want a Christian burial, he wanted an Indian burial. Professor James Smiles spoke about sweeping the mounds, the graveyards, his family on their lands in South Carolina, and his family of Takora Indians. So a lot of these greats that
Dr. Benners and Moore
brought us, you know, African history or untold African history, you know, actually, you know, we could have been, you know, learning a lot about, you know, we would have been a lot further, you know what I'm saying, with an understanding of the America, because they were brilliant minds. And if we could have, you know, got the best out of them, you know what I mean, of the Americas at that time, you know, but, you know, things happen for a reason, you know.
Right, for sure, for sure.
What you think about that though, Red? That you know, that they can, is it just the times that it was in, people, I don't know, is it just a awakening? Is it, you know, because I remember back in the past, you and Blue was real big on 2020 coming. Like for a long time. Y'all was waiting on 2020, that 2020 vision. So
yeah, and then 2020 came, and as you could see, that was the Great Awakening. Because people have, when you speak to everybody, especially a large contingency of this new student body that we have, they don't say, yo, in 2017 we was tapped in. No, they like, yo, during COVID in 2020 I got my awakening, shit turned on for me.
That's when I started too. That's when I started.
When?
That's how new I am. 2020, I was in Dubai.
You another one?
Yeah, I come out of the 2020 portal.
Yo, that portal was crazy, bro. I it's hard to find people from before that portal. Like, there's so many new people from that 2020 portal that it's like, yo, a whole new world was opened up. You know what I mean? Look at the Seymour's run. You know what I mean?
Man, that's crazy.
Hey,
Top.
How long you and Blue just was waiting on that 2020? Like,
man,
you know,
was we ever?
Yeah.
Hey, Top, they used to let me come do my Indian spiel too, man. They used to let me build back in the gap. You know what I'm saying? So now I just love it's all coming full circle right now. You know what I'm saying? And
so
man, the chat loving the scholarship, man.
You read my mind, Taliek. I was about to say, because we got a lot of family in the chat right now. We about 400 deep. I want to take some questions from the chat. I don't want to leave them out of this conversation. I want everybody to feel included and whatnot. So for the chat room, we're going to take about 3 to 4 questions. And, you know, this is going to be a part 2. I got to bring Blue Pill on board. You know, this is a preliminary introduction to the platform. This is basically just to let everybody, you know, become familiar with the research and the level of studying and whatnot. But we're definitely going to do a follow-up very, very soon. Let's go into the audience though and get a few questions so we can get some answers, because I'm sure there's some people out there that are you know, they got some questions that are burning them up that they definitely need some answers for.
Yeah, y'all don't forget to hit the like button either, man. Tap that like button.
Oh, tap the like button. Yeah, share the video, tap the like button, and comment. Please comment. You know what I mean? Let your mind, you know, speak your mind. Do you have any info on the Alabama peoples?
Yeah, you know, my nation actually come from Alabama. We migrated here to Texas. But yeah, the Alabama Indians, you know, that'll start in 1540 with the Muskogee Confederation coming about when the Spanish came through DeSoto, as far as DeSoto. And a lot of them end up coming together and building something called the Muskogee Confederation. And
Right.
yeah, if you're familiar with the Battle of Mobile, Tuscaloosa, Melanated Chief end up defeating DeSoto, and then the Chickasaw end up finishing them off.
Okay. Okay. Somebody said, why do they hate the red man from the land so badly? Who's why? I mean, who's they? But I'm assuming he's speaking about the Europeans. Why do they hate the red man from the land so badly?
We the red man.
Huh?
Yeah. We the red man. You red. You red.
We the red man.
We the red man.
We turn red under the sun, y'all. We have copper. The copper rises. We have a red tone to our melanin. For anybody that was unfamiliar who the red man was, that would
all
be
three of us can turn our camera on, and we'll
feel me. All three of us, we the red man. So, to me, I can answer that question. I don't feel that they hate the red man. If you stole somebody's mineral, material, resource-rich land, and it was on some paperwork and it was faulty, you wouldn't hate these people. You would be more in fear of them because you're standing on the land that you stole. It's as simple as that. It's more of a fear factor than anything. They can't sleep good at night, knowing what's going down and knowing that these lies are being uncovered. We could sleep easy at night, knowing that we are getting closer to the truth day by day.
Boy, man, that's right.
Gabby wants to know, can you speak on the Blackfoot of the South? I hear different things about some of the Greek/Cherokee, also called Blackfoot, even some Virginia and North Carolina tribes.
You got that top?
You can turn up on it. I was just gonna say them was the tobacco fields. A lot of them worked in the tobacco fields, barefooted. That's where you get the North Carolina Tar Heels from. So yeah, they went in. You got a lot of them in Alabama, and Mississippi area as well too. Georgia.
Yeah, one of my lines is Tony Blackfoot from North Carolina. I need to send. I send red like a Saponi Blackfoot list. A lot of them got caught in that Tuscarora War and came down to Florida, and from Florida they went to Texas. And a lot of them fought with the Seminoles too, amalgamated with the Seminoles in Jacksonville, Florida. But that's one of my lines too, one of my Simmons lines.
Indeed. Somebody wants to know, what made you want to research this?
Big Mama, man.
Yeah. My family. Even on the cool, I got a picture, man. It was Christmas 2012, and I had came. I'm moving fast in the streets and all that. And my auntie, she brought me in we was in my grandma's house, and she showed me a picture. And she ran it by me again, and I took that picture, I screenshotted it, and I just always kept it. I put it on all of my books. But it's my grandma in her Indian dress, and she was born on the reservation down in Texas, the oldest reservation. My family actually helped pick the location. They ran the store down there. We still had land down there, so it was just my auntie, put me on that journey. I ain't catch it then, but that's what started me on my American journey. I was learning everything else at the same time, but in the end, I kind of did it to make them proud. You feel me? I ain't want them just to get me as what I used to be. You feel me? And I figure if I can crack this right here, if I can show my interest in this, and it just took off. I came out that 2020 quarter.
Dope.
Yeah, I just ain't stopped.
Honor thy mother and thy father, so your days on this earth will be longer, right?
More.
Yeah.
So that, I feel that's the ultimate honor that you can do is to complete the story. You know what I mean? Like to correct whatever this falsehood is, because in the falsehood they're gonna have us forget everything about our ancestors. We are being erased from our hold to this land. We are being erased from true history, culture, the ways of our ancestors. All of this stuff is going away as we embrace this lie, this myth.
And a common question that people ask you, man, what good is this? Why y'all want to know all? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing it correlates 75% of all the land is through arid property. It's Negro land, you know, and these are indigenous people. A lot of people don't even know their stories. You just got to tap in. You know, your ancestors want to talk to you. Just go, like, you know, Todd was saying, these people was not literate. Actually, they was way smarter than us. You know what I'm saying? Way sharper than us. You know what I'm saying? Why Pawpaw dropped out in 6th grade, like my Pawpaw, he dropped out because he was a master electrician, a master plumber in 6th grade. Right. In schools back then, he started learning in kindergarten how to do plumbing and electrician work. You know what I'm saying? So he started getting, you know, 6th grade, he a grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had to grow up fast back then. Everybody had skills. You know what I mean? Yeah. Another thing, too, I wanted to close on that. So my auntie, when she was 17, so we got land in Texas and Louisiana. So her grandma, and so in the South, a lot of us got, we'll call it going to the country. A lot of our family not from these big cities. We actually from these country towns.
Backwoods, right.
Right. And so like me, I'm second generation from the country. That's why I still talk. You know, you probably can't understand all my words, but we second generation in the big city. So we have great cemeteries and grave sites. So when my auntie was 17, her grandma made her and her cousin, who was the same age in Louisiana, go out into the cemetery, write down the names, and she told them stories about it. She was 17 years old. So I always play that clip about her telling that story. And she had to do a transfer the land over to the family, to the next generation. We hadn't had one in 100 years. It's called a land succession. Now, the state of Louisiana made her go back 6 generations to prove her ancestry. But it was a tradition being passed down in the family. And since she had the information, we were able to get through it. So when she pulled me to the side, it was no different when her grandma pulled her to the side when she was 17 and said, hey, man, you need to take this, and I need you to know this. And so that's why I put so much passion in it. And, you know, that's where my purpose came from.
Beautiful, beautiful. I got one more last questions, 2 more, and then we'll be out of here. This is a good one. What happened to the pockets of Maroons in Alabama after the Civil War?
Well, the people that they calling, so in Alabama, you had the Creeks, or what they end up calling the Creeks. During the Civil War, you're going to see one side, as I was speaking, through Albert Pike, they'll transfer over to the Confederate. So at that time, the Creeks, who was running the Creeks, was the McIntosh family. So you had Tilly McIntosh. You had, what was his brother? Brother name was Daniel McIntosh. Slipped my mind. Hey, y'all, get the likes up, family. Let's get over 400 likes before we get out of here. And support the show. Support the show. We're at an all-time low on support, fam. I don't know what the hell going on. But support the show. Let's grow. You know what I'm saying? We got a little momentum going, man. Hit the like button. You feel me? Put some good energy in the building. Man. Chili McIntosh, and I can't think his brother's name right now. Brother's name was Daniel McIntosh for the Creek side. And you had others. Now, what they did was they end up forging names on there. So you can look it up. They forged a guy named Opethella Hoyer. He was one of the chiefs. So they ended up forging the names to sign them from under the U.S. jurisdiction to the Confederate. So that's what started the Civil War. And that's how half ended up fighting in Kansas under the 1st and 2nd Infantry of what became the United States Colored Troops in Kansas. And it's known in history as the blood of tears, the blood of tears on ice. The blood of tears trail on ice, known in history. And that's what you were saying. They fought like panthers, fought like tigers. Taliek, that's what you were talking about. But
that's the war.
yeah, that's what led to the 1866 treaty. So what happened to them? Well, they ended up winning the war. Those people that was coming out of the Alabama area, they ended up going into Oklahoma. From Oklahoma, they went into Kansas. In Kansas, you can join the Union Army, which was the United States Colored Troops, and they ended up defeating the last Confederate general.
And while you at it, go and let them know that's who populated Greenwood.
Oh yeah. For as
Black
Oklahoma,
Wall Street.
yeah, right.
Alabama Creek, Mississippi Creek, Choctaw Indians.
Yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma is a Creek word. It's called Old Town in the Creek language, Tulsa.
Dope. All right, so
Buck say running this one back.
Rafisis want to know,
Buck
does
say
the
he running this
Cahokia
one
Mounds
back.
and its energy signature have any correlation to Illinois being the Fighting Illinois?
Well, I say this. I don't know about that part, but what I would say it is a energy vortex, and it do lay on what's called ley lines. So I can show you a map. Hold on. We can ping pong one more. I guess we'll do one more on the way out the door.
Okay. Yeah, you good.
So right here, we have ley lines. So we're looking at these spots that these mounds and these different energy centers that's here. So they have what's called path to soul. This is Alabama though, out of the Mississippi, and they all lined up under different star systems. So that's Moundville, and that's the Orion, whatever they under. This Topcatz. Appreciate you running, Andrew. This me and Tulum right there in front of the one of the Prairie lighthouses. I'm trying to get to my Cahokia one on here. All right,
you hit that Cahokia, man?
Cahokia, that's it's an energy center here. It's a triangle. Now from Ohio, when they looked at the Red, he been to Serpent Mounds.
Yes.
The Serpent Mounds direct through the Ohio Mound. It's a straight line going to the Cahokias. Yeah, so somebody, you had to have a satellite or something to be able to, to do this here. But you had three. You had the Emerald Mounds down in Natchez, Mississippi, which was mentioned earlier. Emerald Mounds is the second largest. Monk's Mound to be the first in Cahokia. You had Macon, Georgia, Okmulgee. Now you also had Poverty Point down in Louisiana, and a lot of people don't speak about Wisconsin. Wisconsin they have the elephant effigies, which let us know there were elephants on this side as well too. But they mined copper there, so they mined copper there, and they mined copper down in Poverty Point. Right. And the coin distribution will go from Mississippi, central Mississippi to Cahokia, and it'll be tied to, like I said, Macon and down to Poverty Point. But Poverty Point gonna have a connection with Wisconsin, which is gonna go to the Minoans, who gonna be the first highly civilized ization in Europe, as we're gonna see them build their colonies from the Americas to Europe through this time. But that's another topic though. But that's Cahokia do sit on the energy ley line, and it is a vortex.
Dope. Man, this was so beautiful right here. This was a demonstration, y'all. This was definitely food for the soul. For everybody in the chat, if you received some information tonight, please light that shit up. You know what I'm talking about? Send me some emojis. I don't care what they are. Feathers, arrows, fires, hearts. Let your indigenous spirit just speak. You know what I mean? Give these brothers some love. Is there a way that the family could tap in with you and purchase any one of your books, any type of literature, anything that can help further the research that we've been sharing tonight? I'm sure that you have documented some of your research that you could share with the family?
Yeah, actually, I got this book right here. This is my first book, American Bloodlines of the Gods and Civilization.
Dope.
So the history that we were speaking about earlier, as far as Horus being the green men and how all of these ancient civilizations are basically gonna get their science from America, and America being the old world. You know, we'll talk about the bloodlines of the gods and all of this here. That's in this here. That's probably my bestseller. And I got what we call the Indian Bible. I'm not black, I'm Indian. The Miseducation of Black Americans.
Mm.
And hold on, I'm gonna go to this page right here, because every book I put my grandma in. And so that picture I was telling y'all that I seen.
Right. That you had tucked.
Yeah. That
Dope.
Lady told me you gotta go get on, and that's her right there on the
Dope.
reservation. So I dedicate all my work to her. But you can find this on BigChiefsUniversity.com, BigChiefsUniversity.com, or you can find it on Amazon.
Okay. Any moderators?
Kids too for the babies as well. We got two books for the babies as well too.
Okay, so we got homeschoolers, they could use that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we need that immediately.
Yeah, just show that book, man. I got it for my daughters. They love that book, man.
Yeah, Red, you know, you got P.O. Box or whatever, man. I definitely want to send y'all some of the work, send y'all some books.
Okay, yeah, I need that for my homeschooling. I need that immediately. Any moderators, can you please put the link in the chat? I'm sure we have some moderators in the building. Please put the link in the chat. Yeah, dig.
And yeah,
so
if y'all in H-Town, y'all come tap in a Soul Food Vegan. I also got a cookbook called The Evolution of Soul Food. Just Google it, it'll bring it to you. But we in H-Town, 2901 Emancipation Avenue. Tap in on the gram, soul_food_vegan. You know what I'm saying? Saying super healthy, wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Link up with my buddy, brother Topcatz, BCU. You know what I'm saying? And tap into your story, man. You know
Hold on, we're going to your IG page, man. F that, because you talking about it. I need them to see this thing right here.
Yeah, we kicking major flavor, man.
Kicking major flavor.
Soul Food Vegan, y'all. He real modest and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna talk that shit right now. Soul Food Vegan. His brother Taliek is doing the damn thing. I promise you. Like in the land of barbecue.
One of the best vegan restaurant twice. Nominated top vegan soul food restaurant in the country a couple times.
You feel me?
Yeah, man.
You smell me?
Man. Y'all see that his avatar up there say Houston Chronicle. That's the #1 newspaper in Houston. Yeah, that's
right.
That's the big boy.
So
we be on the news.
Right. Anytime you in Texas, I know that catfish and them prawns is calling you. What's that shit that they be eating? The crawfish. I know the crawfish is calling you, but we're gonna do the vegan crawfish. You know what I'm talking about?
And I'm gonna lay my plane on this one. Just I come from a line of healers. You know what I'm saying? My Davis line. My grandfather was a snake healer. My grandmother was, they was root workers on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But they were healers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just tapping. A lot of this stuff is, stuff that's been passed down to me. I just do it, in a more healthier way. And a lot of the different herbs and health remedies and stuff that I whip up and stuff, they come from a lot of my ancestors and stuff. So, we are stewards of the land too, you know what I'm saying? So knowing that these animals are compromised, knowing a lot of our water is compromised, I just show people how to heal themselves. And our people had a lot of ingenious ways of utilizing the earth to heal ourselves. I also implore everybody to check out a book called Indian Givers, and it breaks down about how America had the biggest biodiversity in any place in America, correlating down to our hygiene, even to the soul food that we eat, you know what I'm saying? And, like he was saying, soul food is Indian food, American Indian food, you know what I'm saying? And my restaurant actually sits right next to Negro Hill, which my great-grandfather was a Takapaishek leader. Howard Smith used to come and free a lot of the Indian slaves that was on Negro Hill, which is on Emancipation Park, right next to my restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying. So that's how much I'm walking with the ancestors. You know what I'm saying.
Nah, that's dope.
Right across down the street, we got a big mural of Buffalo, one of the last Buffalo soldiers that's passed. You know, I think Bobby Williams, if I can't say his name right. But you know, we just tapping these. It's right in our face. You know what I'm saying. These
Right.
mounds, you know what I'm saying, like Buffalo Bayou. If you ever in Houston, you go tap into Buffalo Bayou or Allen Parkway. There's actually a whole bunch of phalanxes of mounds. That's and it's sitting on top of a man-made aquifer that the Attackapah Eshek made. That made a population boom in Houston to begin with, because the Eshek were, they were water. My uncle still, you know what I'm saying, still know how to do the wells and stuff like that. To this day, which we thinking everybody know, but no, everybody don't know how to do no damn makeshift well. You know what I'm saying? Or make muscadine wine and muscadine beer and all this type of stuff that a lot of these indigenous people do. So we just implore you to check out y'all family story. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be a monolith. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be so satisfying. Just like, good healthy food. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, Red, man. I love you to life. Appreciate you, Topcatz. I love y'all to life, man.
Love you to life too. Could we answer this one last question before we get out of here? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be bombarding y'all with these questions.
It's cool.
But this is a great way to bookmark this. Like I said, this is only part one. We do have 2 and 3 coming through. We're gonna expand the panel and bring more voices in. T Hill said, late coming in, based off of the title, can somebody tell me if the black colonizers follow suit like the Caucasians as far as whippings, making them lose their language, grape, etc.?
Well, I say this, when it came down to the black colonizer, a lot of times it's gonna be our family members. So the term colonizer is being used, but the story of the actual people in the story,
right,
is taking place is gonna be our families. Because the reason why I say this, those plantations is where we get our names from. That was our home. That's why you get a lot of stories about the slave. When he bought his freedom, he went back and bought his master's old house. No, he got left the house in his will. The daddy left him the house in his will. So a lot of times, we've been given the wrong story on slavery. So as far as the beatings and the whippings, and that they come from the movies and the propaganda of them, putting this in our head. When we actually look into what slavery was, we'll see that it was the head of the household. It's no different than filing income tax, being the head of the household and having dependents. And so through law in the areas they were in, they were listed as dependents, their family members on there. So, we just got the wrong perception on what a slave actually was. You know what I'm saying? Or how slavery actually went. So there's actually books like Red actually sold a source today. If you go through that book, they're gonna name names of people, and so it's not just a word or slave or slave master. It don't have a face, but these are actually people. And if we look into our story further enough, we may find ourselves in these same situations. And I think it'll better understand when we can see ourselves in the story. You know what I mean? But yes, that's a part of knowing, our story.
Interesting. Yes, I look forward to diving deeper into the truth and getting ourselves out of this falsehood. I want to say honest to everybody who played a part in tonight's monumental show. Salute, I'm talking about. We will be doing a follow-up very soon. And yeah, I'm just glad that we did this. So once again, make sure y'all hit the like button, make sure y'all hit them comments, and make sure you share this video with anybody that you know who is out here looking for the truth and need it. You dig? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close this out with the 44 tops, and we will see you Third Eye Thursdays. All right? Peace, love, and light.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man, I kind of, I feel like I could have did better. I won't say that. I just felt like it was a fill out, and maybe I could have. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was a fill out. I think it was cool because, like you said, they want, shit, part two, part three, part four, part five. So, guess we gonna continue to build. And if y'all seen, we started off like at level one. So I guess me feeling like I had so much to give, but you gotta remember, you know what I'm saying? We gotta walk it down because the audience, you know what I'm saying, may just be hearing it for the first time, or everyone may not be in the same place in their journey. So, you know what I mean? So, I was looking like, damn, man, I could have did better because, and that's just me feeling like I had more to give, and so I actually like the Q&A part. I wish I can back and forth with somebody so I can make sure, but when we end the conversation that they do have an understanding. I think that's the part that I was missing. That's just the teacher in me, though. You know what I'm saying? Be looking for understanding. But I seen a lot of positive comments from the chat that that y'all actually liked it. So, man, what y'all think about it? Y'all let me know. Lil Ty said, "Nah, that was a classic, fam. No bullshit." The one say that was solid. Okay, I got real niggas say it was like, oh, okay. All right, I gotta stop being so hard on myself then. Shit. Uh, yeah, because it wasn't planned. It was just all organic. You know what I'm saying? And it was all organic. And then he had questions. You know what I'm saying? And basically, in the PowerPoint, I ain't know which one was up. You know what I'm saying? So just luckily nigga know his shit. You know what I'm saying? So all right. If y'all enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? If it's good for y'all, then it's good for me. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm being a little hard on myself then. Okay. That's real. All right, appreciate y'all. The real fire say good shit, top. Okay. Hold on, let me get a little charge off here. This nigga butt naked and shit. Nigga, go put on some clothes. that nigga in there. Yeah, I ain't even peeped the nigga was up there half nigga. You know them niggas pull up ball warriors. Yeah, workout warriors. Ty one of the workout warriors. That nigga probably know karate and every goddamn thing. Disciplined ass nigga. Okay, Chad said, I enjoyed it. Great job. Okay, all right, okay. I feel a whole lot better then, you know what I'm saying? Feel a whole lot better about it then. Chuck say that was food for the soul. Okay, that's that soul food. Okay, so we cooking in the kitchen, huh? Hey, pinned at the top are the tickets for the trivia. So if y'all want to participate in the trivia Sunday, the tickets are at the top. Tonight, 7 p.m. They doing a study group. You know what I'm saying? To prepare. So you really don't need to be in that motherfucker unless your ass, you know what I'm saying, got a ticket and you coming Sunday. Now Lux didn't participate, so she ain't gotta pay to get another ticket. She automatically just come in. So she missed it. So she could just come right back in. What's up, Camo Joe? EJ. Lee Needy. Yeah. But yeah, y'all get y'all tickets at the top up there, man. Study group tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. That's my time. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I love y'all. Long as we got to tell we don't need nobody else, man. Y'all get ready for November, man. Get ready to pop out. You feel me? We're gonna have our first meeting. I guess we'll have our first meeting next week. And we gonna get this on the road.
I touched that fire for you. I do that 3-1 times again. I touched the fire for you. I'm so that like you, that bitch I do it. All I will cry is getting through. I'm not long if you joking now here for me. I ain't got it. I've been skinning through it. I show bodies. Long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I ain't got nobody just with you right now. But the truth, I be better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. Losing that's the moment. You just too important. Nobody like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can't just lose and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody like you do.
All right, hey, Rue put up there. We are absolutely the fucking best. All right, hey, Rue, we gotta live up to that every time we step on the field. Every time we lock it up. You feel me? That's better be. That's the culture. We are the best, no matter what. You step on there, your confidence better be through the roof because you know we prepared. You feel me? Prepare for anything.
I feel like Scarface. The party bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. The stage is argument back up to my place. Sex argue, I'm not violent, I'm your day one. We had shit, yeah. It was magic, yeah. Smash and grab shit, yeah. Nasty habits, take the hole when you're not here. Ain't the hole when you're not here. Find the hole when you're not here, I'm saying.
Smile,
When I'm with you.
Real Gabrielle.
Nobody like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody like you do. Nobody like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I snooze and miss the moment. You're just too important. Nobody like you do.
Big old BTU, not the little one. Not the little one. Did you hear me? Not the little one.